Hey, it's Adam Burt here, and you're watching an Etch Play video. Thanks for tuning in. I have been joined by Ben Gammon, and he doesn't really know why he's here. What's up, Ben?
Yeah, how we doing?
Good. I've got a little, not a game as such, but a little fun thing for us to do today. And this is inspired by a tweet from our boss, Dan Thomas, who tweeted that the Master System box art was the best box art. That's a direct quote. Essentially, he's saying that he loves the box art for the Master System, and that got me thinking, if that's the best box art in the world, what system has the worst box art in the world? And as a result, I've done a little bit of research. I've pulled together some images of some pretty bad box arts, and I thought I would grab Benji to go through these with me. Ben, you're a designer, so hopefully these won't offend you too much, but there's a chance this could be very upsetting for you. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, let's see what rules are broken. Let's see. I'm interested to see whether I actually like any of them.
Okay. Yeah, I might hate them and you might think they're great. Yeah.
Is it just subjective?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Well, we're getting started with a classic game box art, and this is Mega Man for the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES, out of Capcom. And the folks home are getting a little nice panning shot of Mega Man's crotch as we speak. The real crime here, surely, is just who drew this and why did they draw it that way?
Yeah, the longer I look, the weirder it gets. He's kind of, and he's holding the gun at a weird angle as well, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like when a child is drawing and they haven't figured out perspective fully yet, because he's kind of like, is he crouching or is one of his legs backwards? The whole thing is quite upsetting. And, the more you the worse it gets.
He's like aiming that way, but he's kind of frowning and looking that way.
Is he frowning? I can't even tell what facial expression that's supposed to be. But this is state-of-the-art, high-resolution graphics, as you can tell. The game looks nothing like this. Obviously, the game is like a.
Are you having me on? Was this the actual box art?
This is the box art. This is one of the most famous examples, a very famously bad box art that had not a lot in common with the game in terms of what it actually looked like, but also maybe he also wasn't very attractive to look at. A bit of a classic to get started with.
I will say this: he never skipped leg day, did he?
Look at him. He didn't.
He never skipped right leg day.
Which one's his right leg? But it's not just old games that have the capacity for making mistakes. Here's another example. I'm interested to see what you think of this one, actually, Ben, because this one is definitely in your design wheelhouse. This is Batman Arkham City, but it's the Game of the Year edition. And they chose to essentially cover it in text. There's so much text here. We've got Game of the Year edition, 10 out of 10 is the biggest text. So that's the biggest thing you see is 10 out of 10. Various review quotes, a whole list of bonus content in there. And then, Batman is on it, but I don't know what he's doing. Is he wiping his lips? Is he taking a punch?
That was a delicious review.
10 out of 10.
It looks like a magazine cover.
It does. Yeah, it really does.
I don't know what the brief was for this. I would like to think that maybe the designer, this wasn't their first iteration of the design, and potentially someone's looked at this and said, oh, there's a gap to the left of Batman's head. You know what we could fit in there? The G4TV.com review that we had.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the designer had good intentions and they just kept getting asked, oh, you got to put this on, you got to put this on. And there's just there's no room for it. But the funniest thing for me is just that the actual name of the game, which is Arkham City, is it's not even in the top 5 biggest bits of text on the box art.
No, not even what's included in the bonus content. You really got to squint to see that.
If I was looking at this in the store shelves, I'd be like, oh, it's called Batman 10 out of 10.
This is interesting though, because this game is obviously it's a really good game. Yes. And these ratings are incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
but they've really gone to town on it, and they've lent on it.
Yeah, it almost has the opposite effect. It's like they're trying too hard. It's like, yeah, I get it. You had some good reviews. Why are you pushing on it so hard? Next up, then, another old one I hadn't heard of, actually, to be fair, in this case, and we're back into the realms of bad drawing. This is Palamedes, and folks at home will see it appears to feature several dice with their tongues out, stomping on someone's head, presumably to death. I mean, he looks happy, but I don't think he will be. I think this poor child, whatever it is getting murdered. I mean, what is this good? I mean, it's definitely distinctive.
I want to see what the game actually looks like. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, surely the game isn't anything like this. I think one of the things I'm thinking as well is have these like dice or cubes, whatever they are, have they got bums? Like,
no, their legs just kind of melt into the cube.
Okay.
You can see the green one. Like, the green one's got the very obvious.
Oh yeah,
he's got
like,
visible crotch area.
It's just frog legs, basically.
Yeah.
We haven't even spoken about the kid looking up from the bottom.
Oh yeah,
that mouth, those eyes.
The mouth is creepy. It's one of those. I think the mouth has too many teeth in it. Like, do humans have that many teeth? Probably. But it just there's something about it that's very creepy and not.
It's a weird perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Very weird perspective. It's a bit like, where's his neck?
Is he laying down? I don't know. I've given up trying to comprehend what this is trying to tell me and whether I should play the game or not.
Very strange.
Very, very strange. Okay, this next one is one of my favourites, just because I think it's the textbook example of someone phoning it in. This is Carnage Rally, and I don't know if the word carnage is supposed to mean something. I think that carnage is like them trying to invent their own cool way of saying carnage. But they wanted to copyright it or trademark it, so they couldn't say carnage. So they were like, we're going for carnage with a K and a J at the end. And then I can't even begin to understand. The car makes sense, obviously, because it's a rally, it's a driving game. The man with the blue hair and the dark eyes screaming into the void.
Yeah, I mean, where should we start?
He's seen too much carnage. When you experience carnage, it's quite traumatic.
He's played the game so long without sleep. His eyeballs have absorbed so much carnage.
Carnage.
They've bruised themselves. I want to talk. There's quite a bit I want to cover here.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's start at the top. Let's start with the title. Do we know what the significance of the R is?
I don't know why the R
and why they've
blue.
brought the R out.
Has the little checkered race flags on it. No, I've got no idea.
Interesting. I like the motion blur on the car to indicate kind of like speed. And that.
Yeah, I mean, most carnage happens at high speed.
Yeah, right. And I just love the fact that he's like this, coming out of at an angle, like he's like, whoa, so much carnage.
I mean, do you think this guy is he from a stock photo they've edited, or is this guy potentially in the office for the guys who worked on the game? I mean, I think they've photoshopped his hair a little bit to make it blue.
I don't know. He seems like a pretty crazy guy to me. I reckon he worked in like accounting or something. They had to keep the budget low. They couldn't afford the stock photography. This I can see why this is your favourite. This is impressive.
I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's going to take some beating. Game Boy Advance, right there. I mean, this next one is like, how was this ever on store shelves? Because this is Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys.
Got a lot of time for that title.
Me too.
Why is it boys? Why is it boys, but why do they look like dwarves?
I mean, because I'm guessing they are. It is the exact. They've been like, oh, is this a little bit too close to Disney's copyright? Snow White's public domain probably, but other dwarves, we better make them clever boys just in case. And obviously, all the classic Snow White ingredients are there. You've got the evil witch in the background. Snow White is looking at an apple, and I think that face is supposed to mean that she wants to eat it. And the boys, I mean, I wouldn't say those boys look particularly clever, but looks can be deceiving.
I like how in this, obviously in the story, the witch is the wicked one.
Yeah.
But they all look a bit scary, don't they?
Terrifying, yeah. If anything, I don't know who that clever boy is in the background. The one with the, he's got a sort of like a evil smirk, the one dead centre. But rated 3+ in the PEGI rating system, and so you could get this for your PlayStation 2 as a child and be traumatised if you like. Speaking of trauma, speaking of things that we just can't escape from no matter how hard we try, next up we've got Cheggers Party Quiz for the Nintendo Wii, also rated 3+.
I will say, if you didn't tell me what the title for this was,
yeah,
I knew it was Cheggers.
So, did you?
Yeah, I knew it was Cheggers.
One of my first questions was if they could afford to partner up with Cheggers, famous British TV presenter and personality, could they not also afford to photograph him? Why do they have to get somebody to draw him?
Do you know if he looks like this in game?
I don't, unfortunately.
Whether he's a caricature in game or not.
I imagine he's probably like a Nintendo, because they had the Mii's in the Wii age, didn't they? He's probably like a Nintendo Mii version of Keith Chegwin in there, I imagine. But it's an officially licensed Nintendo product available for Nintendo Wii. And I mean, to be fair to this one, I mean, this one is mostly just funny. It's just from the pure Cheggersness. Like the actual composition's not that bad, right? You got the title. The title's quite big, it's readable.
Yeah.
Not as egregious as some of the examples that we've seen so far.
I probably would have suggested a different shirt for him. He blends a bit with the curtain in the background. But
I mean, I would suggest a different curtain in the background, or a different background altogether. Just maybe a background that was more fun than a shower curtain with some stuff written on it.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going into Ninja territory because we're checking out Ninja Golf for the Atari 7800. I mean, I actually think this one looks pretty cool.
It's incredible. There's a nunchuck hanging from the golf.
So yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, this does what it says on the tin, though. If you gave me the brief, I need some artwork for the game. Like, oh yeah, what's it called? Ninja Golf. This is what you should get back because he is clearly a ninja, and he's clearly hitting some golf balls around. He's hitting the links.
But he only plays at night. Is that the?
Oh yeah, and he's I'm guessing he's like still got to be stealthy about it.
I like how, I mean, obviously he's a ninja, right? So he's got to be well hidden. Yeah. But the golf balls are white, the tees are white. You can't exactly use
stealth
black golf balls. Yeah, that would make golf very hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Hit it in the rough, you'd be like, it's gone forever.
Oh, shout out to the new label as well at the bottom corner.
Yeah, always good. Never goes out of date immediately. Do you think Ninja Golf is the most obscure use of a ninja that you could possibly have on a box art?
I feel like if I say yes, you're going to hit me with something else. So I'm going to say no, and let's see what you've got.
You know me so well. Next up, it's Ninja Scooter Simulator for the Commodore 64. For this, sweet price of $1.99. Talk about inflation. You know, games don't cost that anymore unless they're on Steam sale. Honestly, I've got no idea what's going on here, but obviously we've got Ninja again. This one is in very stylish blue, not necessarily a traditional Ninja colour, but I guess he had to stand out from the background. And he's riding a scooter, but there's also half an evil ninja in the background and some skulls floating around just to imply death. I actually kind of want to play this one.
Yeah, I mean, the spikes on the front of the scooter kind of indicate you can just like ram into people with your scooter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really like the angles in this one are impressive. So like the Price and the Commodore 64 are following the lines, and then the Ninja bit is like, nah, I'm going the other way.
Yeah, I think that was quite cool. I like the retro aesthetic of it, but definitely a strange one to see on store shelves, I think.
Yeah, my dad had a Commodore 64, but we never had this.
Never experienced the joys of Ninja Scooter Simulator.
Yeah, sadly.
I have a little pitch for you, and I have a pitch for what I think is the system, like the game platform that has the worst box art. So, Dan was saying the Master System was his favourite. I think the Nintendo DS has the worst box art, and I'm going to present a few examples from Nintendo DS specifically to you to see if you agree. This is my thesis. And we're getting started with Julie Finds a Way. Pretty tame, but maybe also straying into that Palamedes Mega Man territory of drawings that seem okay at first glance, and then the longer you look at them, the more horrifying they get. I mean, I feel like her eyes are following me around the room.
What is it about the DS box art that offends you so much?
Well, I think the Nintendo DS as a system, and you're going to see a few more examples, it just attracted so many titles. Like, there's just such a wealth of them there. There was a real boom of basically shovelware, like developers who were pumping out cheap games because the Nintendo DS was such a hot ticket item, and people were buying physical games still at that point. We hadn't transitioned to everything being digital download, so it was like the last big physical box kind of sales mechanism, I guess, that we had. And there's a lot of excitement, but there was the touch screen system, the dual screens. People were really excited, so there was a lot going on. The Nintendo DS was a great system. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was bad. It was a fantastic console, but some of the box art's not so good. Speaking of which, this next one, I mean, Carnage was good. This one, at first glance, you're like, this just looks normal, but you need to pay attention and really see what's going on here, because I think this is brilliant.
Are you suggesting that at first glance I was not aware of what they've done here?
Yeah.
If you look very closely, there's a box art inside a box art. What I love about this is it must have been delegated to an intern or something, and they were like, "Can I have the file? Can I have the box art?" And they were like, just Google it. They've gone and got a copy of it in situ, and then put it inside the box art frame. So you got Nintendo DS inside. I mean, I just love it. If anything, what I really want to happen is I wish that this version had become a bestseller, and then they'd done 3 layers deep, another one that had a picture of this one as the box art. Yeah, this one's interesting because this one, when you actually look at the box art in terms of the artwork and layout, it's pretty good. It's probably the best one we've seen. I'm more impressed that this ever saw the light of day. How did this get past all the internal sort of sign-offs? Incredible. I think they must have looked at it and thought, that's our box art. They must have just not been able to see the wood for the trees. Yeah, maybe.
I think it's great.
Maybe.
Another DS example. This one is just straight up bad. This is Snood 2 on vacation. I've got no idea what's going on here. I don't know why it looks like somebody just drew it in Microsoft Paint. I don't know what it's trying to tell me. I don't know how the game's played. I don't know how they got a sequel to Snood 1 in the first place.
Oh, Snood 1 was just at work, I think. Snood 2 on vacation.
He was hard at work in Snood 1.
I'm guessing that in the middle at the bottom, I think that is some sort of cannon, maybe.
Okay.
And then you maybe have to fire stuff up in line with, maybe you get each of these shapes.
Yeah. Some sort of bubble blaster.
Yeah. I like how the dark, the side of the pyramids that are in shade don't actually have any lines on them.
Or maybe they do, but they're just the same colour, so you can't see them.
Maybe. This one, there's a lot going on here.
I mean, it looks like a great vacation. Like going to Egypt, hanging out near some hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Doing a big thumbs up. Like it's everything a vacation needs. All right, I've just got one more for you, and this last one is also the Nintendo DS, and it is, of course, Russell Grant's astrology. You know, earlier when I was like, why didn't they bother getting a real photo of Keith Chegwin for Chegger's party quiz? This is why. It's when you get Russell Grant to pose for a photo. I mean, I don't know if they took one photo or several and this was the best, but I mean, there's something about it that I just think it's hilarious. I think it's really funny. I want to own this one, but ironically, I don't want to play this game. I have no interest in Russell Grant's astrology. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life. But there's something about just how horrible this box art is makes me want to own it, kind of just like put it on display. I think it should be framed. It should be in a museum.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, if the picture was better, it wouldn't be horrendous. I think it's just like, it's his face, isn't it? Not his face. He's just got a bit of
facial expression. Yeah. It's like he's busy. He's writing his astrology notes. He's writing his horoscopes. That's what they're called. He's writing them, and then someone's like, "Oh, Russell, look over here. We need to take a picture for the Nintendo DS." And that's his face. That's the face of a man who's like, "I don't know what Nintendo DS is, but I better smile in case it's important."
Or like if you're in a photo booth, you're about to have the photos taken, and it gives you a countdown from 3, but it takes the picture on like 2 instead of.
Yeah. Or you tell me what else it looks like. It looks like when the passport photo machine is like, "Don't smile," and you're like, and like your lips just tremble a little bit. You're like, "Oh, I do want to smile," and the more you try not to smile, the funnier it is, until you end up laughing just at the wrong time, and the passport photo comes out looking like that.
I don't know anything about Russell Grant, but I'm wondering if that's his own kind of like logo. I'm wondering why his name...
His face... Oh, you mean his text at the top?
Yeah. I'm wondering why his name is not centered to the word astrology. It's a bit strange.
Yeah, maybe it's... Yeah, could be a logo, like you say.
Also, 12 plus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing there's horoscopes in there that contain mature themes, you know? Like,
very true.
Could be love advice in there, not suitable for the kids. For all we know, the horoscopes could tell people to commit violence. I don't think anyone's actually put a copy of this into a Nintendo DS and actually checked. Everyone's just enjoying the box art. That's the real game, is looking at the box art and enjoying it. That brings us to the end of our odyssey of worst game box arts. Thanks for joining me, Benji.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you on a future Etch Below video. Take care.